Hi, good afternoon, all of you, and my audience out here. You may be waiting anxiously for this week's episode, and this episode is a very interesting one, and especially for those who have left their jobs and they are planning to do something new and they don't want to continue, or they may have retired. So, it is a very interesting and an awesome podcast with a very interesting personality. And with that, I would not like to keep you thinking. With that, I would like to start with a one wonderful lines. You will get the hint about what am I talking about. So just wait and watch and be very inquisitive to learn out of this podcast. And this podcast is very uh, knowledgeable, and those audience, those who are there, we have come here with this episode of Anita's talk show. And on this episode we always keep on inviting guests, coaches, authors, and many friends together, those who can add to your knowledge and to your for your guidance. So with this, I would like to start with a beautiful line. Often, when you think you are at the end of something, you are at the beginning of something. It's written by Fred Rogers. And with this, I think you have guessed it right that today we are there with a wonderful guest, and this guest is none other than Maria Pontes, who is a retirement coach. And with her golden nuggets and ideas about the retirement journey, you will be really blessed to be here watching this episode, so that she has come with a lot of knowledge and lot of ideas for the people and those who are in the retirement phase, may have retired or may be planning to retire. So in this way, I welcome all of you to here on this episode, and with all of us together, let's welcome our guest, Maria Pons. Yes, Maria, you are welcome, and everybody is waiting anxiously for your.
Thank you. So when you said, Anita, I have loads to give you. I felt almost like a Santa Claus coming.
Yes, obviously you are as a Santa Claus to those people who are in you. Maybe somebody may be in a mess, somebody may be confused, somebody may be in what to do,
Yes.
what next. So it is, I think you are just like a Santa Claus and just like an angel for those who are waiting and those who are worried about their future retirement lives. So you can begin with, and with that, we'll just ask Maria Pons that what made you to know, like you, I want you to share that how you planned to come into this niche, like planning for a retirement. What have you done as a as a HR? You were HR, and after you left your job, you may be planning. So let's hear from you about your own experiences first.
Yes, thank you so much. This topic is very close to my heart, Anita. And I realized this, I'll just take you through the story because that's so important and I will never forget. I was in 2016, I had completed my almost 35 years working career.
Oh, good.
And New Year resolution.
Wow.
I realized I
Wonderful.
just had 5 years left to my retirement. I was like shocked. 35 years just gone like that. And it made me uncomfortable. And I said,
Hmm.
what do I do? And the next day I called my HR head. And of course, it's very important for us to have a coach in our life because they can
Correct.
guide you,
Guide
facilitate it.
you. Mm.
I went to
Right.
him and I said, this is it. I have 5 years left. What do I do? You know what? He asked me two questions. And the
Yeah.
first time somebody is being so crisp, he says, what is your net worth? And I was scratching my head, net worth. I thought, didn't have any idea. And then the next question, how will you use your time once you retire? My
Very
answer,
important.
my answer to him was, I don't have, I'm working for 12, 14 hours here at the office. I'd love to go and work with the NGO. Immediately, his prompt answer was, Maria, your salary will stop after you retire, but your expenses will continue. What will you do? And that shook the earth under my feet. I was like, my God, never
You
thought
got a
of
you might have got a jolt of your life.
me. And what it was worse than the first part. Immediately next day, there was a colleague in my office who was familiar with financial planning. I went to him, he helped me, and I'm telling you this in very short. And he
Mm.
says, "Man, do this, that," and kind of we got settled with the financial part. Now,
Okay.
coming to time,
Mm.
I had say I had say 2 years left. Now that's the time I
Oh.
started thinking about how I'm going to spend my time. And the first thing at office, one of my colleagues says, Maria, we would want our managers to coach our salespeople, the young people.
Young
And
people.
we want them to do personally and professionally well. I said, wow, this never came when I was working. So I said, such a good idea, both
Very
personal and
nice.
professional. And then I realized that I had what you say, I didn't have coaching skills.
Mm.
And I thought, let me,
No.
upskill myself. That's the first step I took to coaching. Another thing, why was as an HR person, I was very close to people. They would come to me with their problems. Now, I didn't have solutions to everybody's problems. But in my listening, in my time that I gave, they were able to come out with their own solution. And that's when I realized I can help people, in just help people in their difficulties. That's where my journey into coaching started.
Wow.
But that
That's
was not the end. There were challenges now in how and where will I coach into.
nice. Mm.
And
Right.
what happened was during my last year of retirement, I had to go and help a colleague who was soon
Oh,
to retire. Okay.
great.
And I said, let me go and help. I went there and I said, I'm here today to help you. You have three
Mm.
months left for your retirement.
Mm.
And she says, is it? My God, I
She was
didn't know.
also shocked.
Exactly. And she says, Maria, ma'am, are you sure? I'm
Mm.
retiring in 3 months. I said, yes. Are you very sure? She asked me. And I said, yes, dear. I
Mm.
know because I myself am retiring in next year and I am
Mm.
here to help you plan for your retirement. And when I saw her, confidence level fall down, I said, I must help her. And she had her husband who's so sweet. She called her
Mm.
husband very stressed.
Mm.
She said, this has happened. He said, don't worry. My pension is there. We'll take care of it. Not that it was the money that was involved. It was how she felt on how she would be able to cope up
After.
with the time and the talent that she had working, in the
Correct.
office.
Correct.
Then I went on to the grind of helping her with my coaching program, whatever I could help her. And she put her life in order.
Correct.
Soon it was COVID. She
Oh.
took necessary steps to whatever she had to do to,
Mm.
to start her retirement journey. And
Things
I
to.
was so touched later to find out that yes, she took action, and that is what is important. We need to
Mm.
take action for
Right.
whatever we want to do, and that's
Yes.
where I realized I need to
Yes.
help people who are retiring.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Again. After this, connecting to this statement, what you said, I've got another question: that what kind of steps did you take to reinvent or your post retirement? How could you
Okay.
plan it?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I thought, let me take this incident forward. And during COVID, I was also helping non-retiring people. Like I had a
Oh,
student, I had a working professional. So I said, no, let me give this focus. So I came up with a mastermind, and I had 12 people in that.
hmm.
I had one from Sri Lanka, one from Malaysia, one from South Africa. I was shocked myself, and mostly were females. Now, while I was doing this program, there was an opportunity for me to, co-author a book.
Oh,
Yeah, so that I'll tell you a little later. So,
that's
because I had this mastermind, I decided that we need, in planning for retirement, also, people did more of financial planning, which is very important. But
yes.
along with financial planning, we have other areas of our lives. For example, career. Okay.
Hmm.
We all work for 20, 30 years. We have a lot of skills which we can utilize and either have a passive income or do some social service towards our skill.
Hmm.
So, career, finance, health, and wellness is very important. Anita, when I realized after I stopped going to work, I was missing my friends in office.
Oh,
And I said, no, I'll call all of them, two, three people every day. But I realized, no, I can't be disturbing my friends at office because they are
yeah,
busy with their work. And
yes.
that's when, I said, no, let me find another way how to be in touch with my colleagues. Okay, I was missing my friends. Then we also need to develop our relationships, be it family, social connects, network with people, and be out there to chalk out our own lives. So that's where this mastermind helped. And in this mastermind, having taken care of all areas of our life, not just one, we figured out in our community that we had people who were talented in different areas. Somebody good in social media, somebody good at publishing, someone was good into
Public.
coordination, yes, somebody
Hmm.
into public speaking, somebody into
Hmm.
coaching. So we decided to support each other and develop each other. That was the
Wow.
beauty. And we had so
That's
many skills. So when you have a
that.
mastermind, this is where it helps. So it's very important. Whatever you have, you come with it and we put it together. So this is where the mastermind helped.
Very nice, very nice. This is really something awesome and very unique. You
Yes,
can say it is really very unique thing, and going towards positive approach of mind. You went through the lives of the people,
exactly.
right? And it adds to the happiness also.
Absolutely.
That yes, because one when, like you said, the example of your colleague, she was shocked and you yourself were shocked that you still had 2 years, but even then you were feeling that kind of emotions were coming, that
Yes.
what will I do after that? So the happiness factor which you have created is really up to the mark. R- Very
True.
nicely put it across, Maria. You have, touched the hearts of so many people out, and
Thank
especially the
you.
audience who are watching. They may be, blessing you. And
Yes.
the second thing, I just want to put it across, like often when you think you are at the end of something, you are at the beginning of something.
True.
this is this is what you have conveyed it very nicely in a beautiful words. So now, coming over to our next question, that there are so many of challenges during transition from the working life into a retirement life. How could you help your community or your friends in
So,
shifting?
yeah, I'll say that you need help because alone it is very, very difficult. like I had a coach,
Okay.
so who helped me in, of course,
Right.
when I did my coaching program,
Hmm.
and for the little while that he interacted with me, and I would like to say gratitude to him. Not just one, I have two coaches, two three coaches. One is Arfin Khan. He was a guy who, just meeting me for a very short time says, Maria, you have an inspiring story. Why don't you write a book? I said, my God, me?
Hmm.
Oh, no way. And I thought, like, I was comparing myself to these big authors and all. I said, no way.
Yeah.
But, Anita, there's something that I did and I will never forget, and I thank God for it. I took his advice. I came
Okay.
home and I wrote my thing about writing a book. And I said, I'll take 2 years to write. Book
Right.
writing is not my job, but I still wrote it.
Hmm.
And then I started writing my book. In the meanwhile, I also had somebody from Notion Press who was to follow up with me.
Oh,
I
so
said, yeah,
nice.
I'll be very interested, but not now, later. Laid back. And when I started writing my book, the script, how I did it was uh, lockdown. I used to travel for an hour to office. I
Okay.
dedicated that time to write, whether it was
Oh,
half an hour, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. So within 10 months, I finished my script. And I
I'm
was,
very, I'm very inquisitive to just ask you, what was your first line when you started your book? First
when,
line when
when I
your
started,
pen fell on the paper. What was your
yes.
first line? How
So,
could you start it?
so I thank God. Because
Oh, so
even the
sweet.
first step,
Ah,
because very often we look at the first floor, we don't look at the next step, and we get overwhelmed when we look at the first floor.
so
So
nice,
I
so
thank
nice.
God. So, it's a very, very simple thought, but I was grateful to God. And I
Grateful,
said,
gratitude.
so that's
That
where,
means your
yes,
first mindset was gratitude.
yes,
So
yeah.
nice.
And
Yeah.
I did that. So in 10 months, so it'll be 26th January, I'll
Mhm.
complete 4 months of my writing my first solo book.
Oh, great.
Yes, yes, on
Congratulations.
Republic. You know, I had I had imagined to have a book launch in a big hall,
Okay.
release it with the newspaper, the TV crew,
Yes.
my senior managers, my family. But because of the lockdown,
Oh.
it became a global launch, not a
Oh,
local launch.
on Zoom?
YouTube.
YouTube. Wow,
Yes.
wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
so that was my experience. And the
Okay.
second thing that I did was when I was doing a speaking program.
Mhm.
So as I said, this is my first book that I wrote. I must share with you.
This
Realms
is
of Peace.
of dreams.
Yeah.
Oh,
So this is
nice.
my, and then during my mastermind, I was doing a coach speaking program. So there was an opportunity to co-author a book with 25 authors in India. I said, wow,
Wonderful.
yeah. So I
Excellent.
said, chalo, udhar bhi also, I said, let me do it.
Good.
And I went on that journey. I learned, how to write your chapter. And it was on finance, and finance is something that I don't like. What will I write in finance? But by the time
Oh,
I wrote my chapter, I had lovely stories to share.
it was a
Yes,
challenge.
yes. It was, I just shared of how money
Mhm.
helped me make my wealth. You remember
Okay.
when we were small, we had piggy banks.
Oh, right,
So
right.
thanks to my mom, my late mom, she inculcated this habit in all five of our siblings. And
Very
whenever
good.
the piggy bank was full, she would break open, and then that money that is collected, she would make something out of gold for us. So that's
Wow.
the way we learned
Beautiful.
savings and investments.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So when we did this second co-authoring book with Mr. Amandeep Thin, it's called uh, Destiny by Design.
Mhm. Wonderful.
So this was a book, and this book launch happened when I was doing my mastermind.
Okay. This is the people who all have written it. That
Yes,
book?
one chapter,
One chapter. Very
and
good.
yeah, and because it was the book launch, I had invited them for the book launch, and they said, Oh, Maria, we'll also want to write a chapter. Can we do a co-authoring of a book? I said,
Hmm.
yeah. Since
Hmm.
whatever I learned there, I said I will implement it here. So
Right.
that's when
The third
my
book came.
third. So this
Me
one
no
is so
book.
special with my mastermind
Hmm.
community. This has
Okay.
19 global authors.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
So this also, the entire mastermind collaborated to get this book launched out. And
Hmm.
this is what I say, we are not alone in this world. If we have the
Yeah.
right people, they say, no, that you are the sum of the environment that you are in. Then you can do a lot of good things when you have good friends and
Yes.
family.
Yes. And over and above, when your why is clear, then everything moves on,
Yes,
because you are in a helping mode and you wanted to help people. So that universe opened doors after doors.
yes,
And you finally landed into become an author.
yes,
So
absolutely.
it was really, I think, a blessing in disguise, you can say, right?
Yes,
Because you never even dreamt of becoming an author, and now
yes,
finally you have authored three books.
three books.
So it is wonderful, wonderful, awesome. And with that, I would go into your work. That what inspired you to open your RRL, and what is this RRL? Create it. You have actually created it.
Yeah. So, as I said, because of that one encounter I had with my colleague,
Okay.
I decided to have this mastermind on reinventing retirement lifestyle.
Okay.
Because just like we go from school, from college to corporate life, we reinvent ourselves. So, from
Right.
corporate life coming into retirement life, again it's reinventing. And for me, I had planned my retirement 5 years prior. First 3 years finance, next 2 years, into skill development. And
Mhm.
investing in yourself is a huge thing. We
Very.
normally we don't think about ourselves. We
We
think about
neglect that part. We
yes.
usually neglect that part.
So I
Mm.
decided to invest in myself,
Mm.
and I said anyway someday, we are parents who our children get married, they go away,
Very
and we
true.
need to take care of ourselves. We can't be
Mm.
dependent on our children because they have their own lives to live. So
Obviously.
I was very clear, if my daughter gets married, I
Mm.
have to look after myself. So
Right.
while I ended my professional career, my
Mhm.
next career started, and that's where reinventing retirement lifestyle came into the picture, and the journey
Wonderful.
continues today.
Wonderful planning. And there you have created reinventing retirement lifestyle. Right. So, with that, you have come up with the podcast also.
Yes, in fact, when you invited me for this program, I remembered I do podcasts with people who
Mhm.
are retired to
Okay.
enable them share their stories, because
True.
each of us have a different story,
Different story.
so that
Very.
people can get inspired by their story and know that there is life after retirement, and it's not the end, and there's so many things they can contribute in this world and leave a legacy so that people will remember them for always.
Yes, this is very nice, very beautiful. And in that way, now you are a podcaster, you have established yourself as an author, you have established as a coach. So now the next feather on your hat is can be then how do you want to reach the audience now? This is a challenge again, a next challenge that you have made your tribe, you have made your community, but now you've got to expand your horizons, right? So for that, what you have thought or planned, how to reach to your audience?
So currently, I recently was invited to speak to students.
Okay.
and they're college
Yes,
students. Yeah.
college.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I thought I would be reaching out to people who are planning to retire. So the
Hmm.
world is like an open, like it's like a garden where you sow your seed, you let the plant grow. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to be stopped by just one area like retirement lifestyle. I could be going to colleges, I could be going to corporates. So I have one or two invites happening for me. So I'm open to it and I love to explore, not be stuck with one way of doing things.
Hmm.
In fact, last year, exactly this time, Anita, I had
Hmm.
an opportunity to go to Kalsubai Peak. And
Yeah.
that's something in Maharashtra I
Oh,
never thought I would do. So, one thing I know is I just need to take the opportunities that come and explore. So, as of now, I don't have anything very tightly planned. But yes, I'm doing a little bit of research work for myself. I've taken a little break, and once that is done, then I'm all out.
so in a sense, you can say that doors are opening one by one.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes,
And we
and
need to be open.
yes, this is again, you are not planning. So it is, a God gifted door which has come in front of you. You just have got to push it and
Yes.
open it. So this is a
Broadly,
wonderful.
yes, we can plan. I have certain things in
Yes.
mind. It's under development. But I would say that sometime opportunities come and just need to pick it and go.
Yes, we've got to plan later, right? We've got to go on that track. Track is open. Track is already there. You just have got
Yes,
to trot on it. So that is the beauty of life, and which you have really formulated yourself with your own hands, and
yes,
that is the lovely aspect of this wonderful life. And through masterminds you are reaching your
yes.
audience,
Community.
workshops, right, and
Right.
books and podcasts. So you
Yes.
have got all these channels open
Yeah.
for the audience, right? So I would request the audience to go under this video, and you can see the links of Maria's workshops, her books. They are available on Amazon, and you can, if you want to read, you can get lots of insights about her life, about her retirement life, about her planning, about her all the knowledge nuggets which she has kept in store in these books. There are three books altogether. Whatever, whichever you feel like, you can pick it up. And then comes the workshops. If whenever she'll be coming up with the new workshop.
So, friends, thank you very much and happy to have you over. Thank you.